All right,
Oh,
let's talk about what is quite possibly the biggest surprise of July for me.
are
And
you
that is
kidding me? We've just talked about two. The okay, I'll keep going. Continue.
From Ashes to New have dropped their brand new album, Blackout.
Feel the blood run through my veins and there's a
And the last time we talked about this band was when they dropped Heartache last year. Like,
That
I
was
want
a
to say
good
in
song.
June. And Heartache still bangs. Borderline top 10 song of last year. And then we never talked about any of the other singles because they were either just okay or I just didn't really care for them. And by that, I mean that there was a very underutilized feature in Matty Mullins of Memphis May Fire on Until We Break. So going into this, I had mild expectations that Heartache was just going to be the clear favorite song of mine, and I wasn't really going to care for too much of the rest of this. And then I listened to the rest of this album, and I think the best way that I can talk about this album is that I feel very similar to about this album as to how I felt when I first heard Eulogies by Wolves at the Gate last year.
Oh,
Where Wolves at the Gate were a band that I had like middling expectations for, and then that album blew me away with songs like Dead Weight and Silent Anthem. From Ashes to New have just pulled the same exact trick with Heartache, and then my second favorite song on this album coming right in the middle, Monster in Me, which is rap rock done to a fucking T. It is exactly the sound that I was hoping this band would go for, and not to say that they haven't tried in the past, but this album takes the rap rock sound that they have been trying, and they've been succeeding at it, but it hasn't been connecting with me as much. The rap elements in this album are utilized exactly in the way that I hoped they would be, and it heavily contributes to how much I enjoy this album. As I said, when I went into this album, I expected Heartache to be my clear favorite, and then there would be like a couple of just okay songs in the middle, because that's how I felt when I heard Panic back in 2020. But then, similar to how I felt with Eulogies by Wolves at the Gate, song after song, I just kept on getting more and more impressed. Hope You're Happy has a really fun and infectious chorus. I mean, it's a sad song lyrically, but it has a good melody to it. Barely Breathing, similar. It's not one of my favorites, but it's a solid song. Dead to Me has a crazy riff and is just like borderline like one of the heaviest songs I've ever seen from Ashes to New make. Monster in Me, I've already sung my praises for that song and the use of the rap vocals. Echoes, I think, is probably the weakest non-single here. But then you end the album with Legacy and Broken by Design, which just continue this incredible streak of sick riffs and breakdowns, which is not something I expected from a From Ashes to New album. Across the board, my expectations were blown away, to be quite frank, and this is currently sitting in my top 10 albums of the year, and it is not number 10, which if you told me that From Ashes to New would be, let alone contending for a top 10 album of the year, when Heartache came out last year, I wouldn't have believed you. So yeah, I'm very impressed with this album. Now, is it gonna withstand the storm that is August, September, and October? Hard to say at this point. But this album has really connected with me in the few days that I've had to listen to it, and I anticipate spending a lot more time with it in the coming weeks and months.
I while we were going through the podcast, I was able to blow through most of this. I haven't got to closer yet, but I've saved a couple of these to listen later. Unfortunately, because this is so recent, I didn't give it a full listen. I'm saving that for work this week. But some of my favorites are Hope You're Happy, Monster in Me,
Yes.
Legacy.
Yep.
Echoes was also a really good one.
Yeah, Echoes is a solid song. I just don't think it has that standout moment that the other songs on this album has. Like, the opening riff to Broken by Design really blew me away from the moment I heard it. The rap delivery in Monster in Me and the very unique song structure really convinced me there. Dead to Me, the riffs and the vocal delivery in that one really connected with me. I mean, Echoes is closer to what I expected out of From Ashes to New coming into this album, as a song that like was going to be good but not going to blow me away. I also need to make note of the singles that grew on me. Nightmare and Armageddon are 6 songs that I did not give enough credit for as singles when they came out earlier this year.
Back to what I was gonna say. The Future, I would say, is still probably my favorite album. But with enough time, this could probably grow on me. It's just that album's had 5, almost 6 years. And has some still really phenomenal songs from that band. Some of my favorites still on that are Crazy, My Name, The Future.
The Future is fantastic as a
Nowhere
song.
to Run.
Yep, Nowhere to Run as well. Those are my 2 favorites from that album.
I think this is on par with it. Unfortunately, I don't remember anything off Panic, but probably for the best.
Yeah, I think this album blows Panic out of the water and is stronger than The Future. I feel like I don't know how much more I can say to really showcase how much I've really been surprised, pleasantly surprised, you could even say, with this album. Because I feel like I've been on that rap rock train for a while with bands like Discrepancies and Nevertell and even Bloodywood to an extent. And I feel like From Ashes to New are like one of the biggest bands right now doing the style, and it never really clicked with me until this album.
I think I've only heard Heartache, and I remember really liking that song, so definitely will give us
I definitely think you'll find at least a couple of songs on here to really like. Before we wrap up this discussion in this episode, I want to take note of a few lyrics on the album. Heartache being a borderline top 10 song of 2022 and my favorite song on this album. I love the lyric of in the first verse, now here we are fighting with nothing to lose now, just a vision and ambitions of burning the room down. The walls are closing in and the voices are too loud. Everybody's on a mission and getting the noose out. Which is basically just like calling out all the fans that thought that they were never going to make it. And that's kind of like the motivation for this band, is just like proving that they are capable of succeeding in their dreams, so to say. And Heartache has shown that like we pushed through all the pain to prove these people wrong, type of thing. And I don't know, it just has a super sick sound to it as well. And then Monster and Me as well has some new lyrics that stuck with me. In the first verse, you get the thoughts I'm having got me battling my stupid mind. Why does every situation have to be a do or die? And I feel like with Matt's rap delivery, that line hits even harder. But then you also get the dropout in the pre-chorus in Monster and Me, which really elevates the song in my opinion. I think there's something wrong inside my head. I'm getting anxious. I've lost all hope I had of staying calm. I cannot stand this. So bite your tongue and walk away because I need a minute. I feel the blood run through my veins and there's a monster in it. And there's definitely other lines like that are really well written across the other songs, but ultimately this album came out 3 days ago as we're recording this, and I haven't had enough time to fully digest everything. I've spent a lot of time throwing Monster and Me on repeat, and the rest of the album I still need to spend more time with. But yeah, if this doesn't get mentioned in my end of the year list, just know that it was probably close.
Noted.